Good morning, Randytbird. Easter Sunday morning. Coming to you from Arizona, as always. I finally got my artwork on my opening segment. I put a sneak preview up on YouTube the other day, a whole 18 seconds worth. And once again, I want to thank my good friend Terry at Wookiee Style Tattoos for drawing up that artwork for me. And he is sponsoring me, and this is no, I've not sold out. I am not monetized. I am not a sponsor whore or anything like that. It's just we're good friends and have been for 30 years, and just kind of a mutual thing. He's a great tattoo artist. If you're in Arizona, go on down and see him, and the website address is on the screen. And I'm sure he'd appreciate the business, especially right now since in this lockdown going on, everybody is struggling. Speaking of lockdowns, had some news at work. I had to cut hours at work. That kind of sucks for the people that work there. Everybody's dealing with it best they can. My hours were not cut, but being salary, I had to take another kind of cut, and I'll leave it at that. And so I get to work for less. So that's okay. I am glad to have a job. So, at any rate, another beautiful day out in Arizona. Easter Sunday. We did the Easter egg hunt this morning with the grandson, and that was fun for him. And now my wife is at home putting together a great Easter meal. It's kind of weird that people can't get together to any great degree. You know, normally the churches and stuff would be packed, and they're just not, because of this plague that has affected our country and the world. Very sad. You folks that are locked down and cannot ride at all, I feel for you. I hope that this gives you some sense of hope that, you know, it can still get out, as long as we're still out to get some video recorded for you and do my weekly vlog. I try to squeeze in some more to try and give people stuff to look at. I know I don't go out that much during the week, and but not being able to at all is just very frustrating. I go to work, I come home, and that's it. And we like to eat out fairly often, and we haven't been able to do that. It's not the same picking it up and bringing it home. I've got to where my lunch hour at work really is just, I don't know, don't really care for it. There's only a few places around that I can get, and it's all fast food. And the places I'd like to go and decompress for an hour, my lunch hour, I can't do that. I either got to go back to work or eat in my car. And having a tan interior in my car, I just really don't want fast food stains on the interior. So anyway, I was able to drop by the Harley shop yesterday, and I don't know why I go there. Nothing ever changes, but I just like looking at the bikes and talking to people and doing that. I'm not going to bore you all with pictures of the same stuff. You guys already know what it looks like. So anyway, but they were selling bikes. I was only there about 45 minutes to an hour, and they were delivering 3 motorcycles, so I'm glad to see that they're still doing okay in that way. Some riders. It's great. We're having a cool day today. Cool day yesterday. We had a little rain come through, very little rain yesterday afternoon. The temperatures have been cool at night again, and normally this time of year, here we are coming up the 12th of April, we could have 100 degrees anytime now. So every day that it's under 90 is a gift. So I'm really appreciating that, and just enjoying being able to ride in just a long sleeve shirt. Not needing a jacket. It's not that cool, but it's not that roast you to death hot like it's going to be starting in June. But even then, if you get out early in the morning, it's not so bad. lot of cool looking clouds in the sky today. Silhouette against the mountains. I can't be gone too long today, so I'm just getting a short ride in today. We are having dinner, so I don't want to be late for that, because I never want to be late for dinner. And maybe if I was late for dinner a few times, I'd weigh a few dozen less pounds. But you know what? It's kind of in my heritage. Every time I've lost weight, it seems like it always comes back. You know, in my 20s, I worked out 7 days a week, and I was in tremendous shape, but I wasn't having any fun. And if you're a gym rat, or you just like to work out or run or do whatever, you know, hey, that's great. You know, I just at 65 years old, I don't feel much desire to run anymore. With arthritic knees and ankles, running becomes a bit of a chore if I can do it at all. If I gotta walk fast to get across the crosswalk, I wonder sometimes if I'm gonna make it. But you know, I had my time in the world, and I used to play softball and baseball for, well, 25 years I played, and played into my mid-40s when the body said, you're not any good at this anymore. So I just got stepped back out of it, but I really do miss it. I love watching baseball, which I cannot right now because of everything. Oh, there's some wild horses. Cool. You don't see that very well. There's a lot of them out here, but you don't normally see them. I hope they were able to catch that. Maybe I'll slow down the video when I edit it. But usually they're up by the river, but the way the rain has caused the grass to grow in the desert and stuff, they're ranging out, I'm guessing. The Verde River area up here is known for its rather large herd of wild horses. People think these horses have a lineage that go all the way back to the early parts of settlement out here, and even the earlier explorers. Horses escaped and somehow managed to survive, and they bred in the wild. And every couple of years they have a roundup, and they try to move them somewhere else because they are getting quite the population grows to the point where, especially in drought years, it's hard for them to survive. And the last couple of years they've had some really distressing pictures of these horses with the ribs sticking out and everything, and they try to drop in feed and stuff for them, but the best is to move them, I guess, to other places. Wow, the desert is just majorly in bloom today. Lately, it's so much nice. If you looked at the videos I did last summer, everything was a dead yellow color. I mean, you still got the pea green that they have out here, but the flowers and stuff weren't in bloom, and it's just green upon green, and yellow and purple, blue flowers everywhere. Really nice. Anyway, I'm going to cut this video short, and I will probably bring back some more here a little bit later. So hang around. Hey, I'm back. I'm still out riding on Sunday on my return trip now. Went up the road a bit. For some reason I did not turn the camera back on, so I was talking to myself for a little while, but I'm back now. Give you another view on the ride home. It's going past Fountain Hills now. Beautiful Easter Sunday. It's supposed to be, I don't know if at the end of this week or the end of next week, it's going to be back in the 90s here, and so, you know, 90s are pretty nice in the daytime here in Arizona, especially this time of the year when there's no humidity. It's still some coolness to the air when you're riding. It's pretty nice. God, I can't get enough of this area. A lot of people out on bikes today. just talking to a gentleman at the gas station that was right up on a Aprilia Capo Nord 1200. I've never seen one outside of magazine. Pretty cool bike, kind of a adventure style Aprilia Italian made bike. Very nicely detailed, very seems to be very well made, and the V-twin 1200cc V-twin sounds pretty cool too. I like adventure bikes. I would like to have one. These days I'm into the one bike at a time mode, so unless I win a lottery or something, I'm probably not going to have one, but I am hoping for that. I'm hoping for some sort of windfall come to me that I could buy myself I think I've got it narrowed down to a Triumph Tiger 800 XRX low. Being my short stature, I need the low seat height because most of the ones that are the real serious adventure off-road bikes are super tall, and I just can't reach the ground safely even with 1 foot. So if I can get 1 foot down, I'm okay, but if I can't get either foot down, well, that's makes life a little bit more interesting than I would like. But this bike is too heavy to go down a lot of dirt roads or rough roads, so I'm not even going to do that. Plus, I don't want to beat this bike up on dirt roads. It's not designed for it. And I don't own a truck right now either, although that's something that I've been thinking about. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like the government. I don't know where the money's coming from. I'm just spending it. Anyway, my wife would probably should be shaking her head at that comment, but I wouldn't mind getting another pickup so I could go and do some photography out in down some roads that have always intrigued me that I've never gone down. There's some beautiful country out there away from the highways that I'd like to get. Heading back to the valley now. The Valley of the Sun, which is partly cloudy today, but the clouds are awesome looking today. Coming down through an area, it's the Salt River Indian Reservation here that's runs across the river bottom up here, and on both sides of it. They do some farming out here, and it's all spread out. Not a whole lot to see out here, but it's still a nice road. So I hope you're getting out there and doing some riding today. Arizona Canal. These canals run all the way to the Colorado River. It's part of the Central Arizona project that they did back in the 60s or 70s, I think it was, and brings water into the desert on a consistent basis. And these canals run for hundreds of miles, and they come down from both the lakes and from the Colorado River, which is about 180 or 90 miles from west of Phoenix. And that's interesting. I was just thinking about taking a ride out there here sometime here in the future before it gets too hot. That's a pretty good ride out to the Parker, Arizona, or Lake Havasu City. Actually, I've been to Lake Havasu City a few times. It really doesn't do all that much for me. The London Bridge is there, but I thought the London Bridge was this big ornate thing. It's about 200 feet long. Kind of underwhelming, really. I mean, I guess you could be impressed by the fact that they brought it over one brick at a time, and from London, and put it all back together. But you know, it just kind of looks out of place in the desert. I think they're trying to have some notoriety out there for Lake Havasu. Lake Havasu is in an area that routinely hits 120 degrees in the summer, so if you're not doing something with water, you're in your house. Again, I visited that area. I'm not real impressed with it. I don't think I'd want to live there. So the Colorado River could be interesting, but it's mostly if you're into water stuff. people run their jet skis and their boats up and down the river there. There's a couple lakes. There's Parker Dam. There's a lake there, and you get to Laughlin, Nevada, where there's a big bike run every year. I don't even know if they're going to have it this year. It's usually the end of April, the last week of April. I don't think they're going to have it. I haven't seen much advertised. I mean, everything else is canceled. But that's another thought. Another bike looks like a Harley police model bike. I looked at those here several years ago, and they always had the Screaming Eagle treatment done to those police bikes, and they had lower overall gearing, so they would actually accelerate pretty good, but they didn't have the top speed capabilities that most of the baggers do. But interesting. They were a little bit cheaper too. They were a couple $1,000s cheaper. They didn't have a radio or a rear seat or any of that stuff. But I looked at those. Heading south is actually, I'm heading southwest. The mountains you see in the distance there are the mountain they call South Mountain here, and behind that is the Estrellas, which is Spanish for star, I guess. And it's one of the higher points. That peak there at about the 1 o'clock position, that's about 2,900 feet. That's the highest mountain peak in the valley area. And those mountains, from where we're sitting right now, it's so clear today that those mountains, from here to those mountains, is probably about 50 miles. And you can see practically forever. I mean, when I look to the south, some of those mountains may be as far as 70 miles away. Not only are bikes out today, but they're very friendly today. Everybody's waving. More farm country here on the res. Some of the less notable things around here are landfills that they run there on the river bottom. This to my left side here, that was one they built right on the river bottom, and then they had a big 100-year rainfall storm, and it took all the garbage out of that landfill and ran it down the riverbed. It took them years to clean it up, and they had to move it to the other side of the highway here. So there's some Arizona trivia for those of you who don't live here. I mean, I'm sure that you probably could have gone your whole life without knowing about the landfill issues here, but that's what it is. I'm just jabbering away. Anyway, I'm coming down to the end of the Beeline Highway here, and this is Randytbird. I hope you like what you're seeing, and I hope you're having a good time and staying healthy, getting to ride your bikes, and feel free to subscribe. I broke 100 last week, and it's continuing to grow, and I'm trying to make improvements all the time, and I appreciate you subscribing. This is Randytbird signing out.